there's been nothing like Tubular Bells before or since. And with Ommadawn, it was a handmade piece of music, you know. And I think it's maintains its popularity because it sounds so different from, you know, the run-of-the-mill music that we hear nowadays, which has become rather homogenized into a kind of semi-perfect, you know, product. I try not to, especially with these instrumental albums, stick to a format or try and copy anybody or try and be unique. In fact, I purposefully never listen to anybody's music. I don't want anything to cloud my own picture of how music should be. There hasn't been many actual collaborations. I mean, I've had producers, of which Trevor Horn was by far the best. I mean, he was an extraordinary character, and he would come up with ideas for Tubular Bells 2, which I would never have dreamed of. In fact, he was very good at networking in with all the best people, musicians, engineers, programmers, whatever, in Los Angeles, where we made it. So I would think that would be my favourite collaborator, was Trevor Horn. There was 100% commitment from the smallest person in the backstage, you know, doing the washing up, to the costume designers, the lighting, the performers. Everybody was like, you know, let's show them, you know. I remember the one thing we were all terrified of was it going to rain. So like, everybody was looking on, is it going to rain? Is it going to rain on the night? You know, it didn't. It kind of drizzled a bit in the afternoon, but on the night it didn't. And then the actual show was just electrifying, you know. So the amazing thing for me was it was using my music I'd made in 1973. That was like, you know, 40 years ago, and it was still relevant now. And it was mind-blowing for me, you know. So that's what it meant to me. It was fantastic. Every new album is a whole new project, and every time the first stage is thinking, well, what shall I do next? You know, what haven't I done before? There was all the keyboards from the 70s, things like a mellotron, weird instrument called a clavioline, which was pre-synthesizer. Mandolins, very important. They got mandolins, and then original Ommadawn had recorder, which I'm not very good at playing, but I can play the penny whistle. So I got a whole range of them in different keys. And add all the instruments there. I didn't want to have a beep, 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 beep electronic click track, so I got an old metronome, winding it up, put in microphones, you go tick, tock, tick, tock. I recorded the click track. So there I am, all my instruments, click track, right. What shall I do? And I just sort of flipped a switch and went into, you know, 1975 mode, and out came all these melodies. Just, okay, play that, okay, play that, and gradually, bit by bit, you know, the thing grew. Working with the engineer Tom Newman all night, and we finished a rough mix, which we were then going to send off to Richard Branson and Simon Draper in the morning. And I remember we had this Jeroboam full of draft Guinness, which we've been saving, which is a bottle about that big. And I remember we've done it, and I remember passing this gigantic bottle of Guinness between me and the engineers in the studio. We did it. And then I think I passed out, and woke up the next afternoon and got a phone call from Simon Draper, who was Richard Branson's partner. He said, I love it. All I can say is that, you know, The Exorcist is not a horror movie to me. It's about getting rid of evil. You know, it's a good thing. There's no like, it's not like a bloody, horrible, disgusting horror movie. You know, like the slasher, this horrible stuff. I think it's a positive thing, and I owe a lot to it that it's sort of it's made Tubular Bells one of the top 5 Halloween music. I mean, Halloween over here is fun, you know. All the kids love it, trick or treating, and they always play Tubular Bells. So it's given me that as well. So I'm just very grateful and fortunate. I remember the studio back from Tubular Bells days, the big one, before, because with Kevin Ayres I used to record in the studio next door, and I'd pop into the big one to have a look. And even one day, the engineer Tom Newen and I, we flew a model aeroplane in there, you know, with the proper, glow plug engine, and on a control line, and recorded it, and so it's going. Since I was very, very young, there was a moment, probably when I was only 8 or 9, when I just discovered music. And since then, it's not just making music, but in my everyday life, I've got music in my head, and I've got my fingers are always playing music, my toes even, you know, everywhere. It's just music, music, music. Also toying with the idea of doing a 4th Tubular Bells 4. Because it's addictive. You've got this little piano sequence, and it's very, very simple. And only God knows how hard I've tried to repeat that, because it's only like 3 or 4 notes, and there's only certain combinations of them. It's almost like a metaphysical problem. You know, that one worked really well. Why does it not work when it's slightly changed? Why is it only work like that? So I've been pondering that problem for 40 years, and I'm coming close to solving it, you know. So I'm working on possible Tubular Bells 4.